Hello and welcome back to Factorio. We are in our beltless bot maze and I am at Gallifrey back at our home station, and I've done a little bit of work between episodes, so forgive me, it's been some building work. First of all, I have dumped down a blueprint for another iron mine. The reason for this is that we have, I think, 6 iron trains, and I'm noticing that there are iron trains sat in the in this stop here, waiting to be filled. So this one is waiting to be filled. This one has managed to go straight off. This one's straight off. It's not doing it, obviously, because you're watching. But I've seen trains queued up here. So the fix for that is to add more mining. So that's what's going to happen here. That will get built as we do other things. The second thing I have done is we are going to move on to the higher tier sciences, and they chew through iron. And I had a bit of a play between episodes with just putting down some builds, and there was no way that I could smelt iron on demand in the quantities needed to keep any of the processes running at an acceptable speed, not even for something like rail. So what we have is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 steel blocks. Each steel block is 4, 8, 12, 16 smelters. Okay, so each of those is a fair size. It's producing some steel. So that's fine, and this can obviously be continued up, or I can put down a second one of these. We just got some notifications that some stations have been put down. Okay. So I'm going to rename these to to A-2 to B-2, 02. I'm trying to find naming schemes where we can copy these down. A, B, and C2. Okay, so that's ABC-2. And we really should then rename these to have I named these inconsistently? A1, B1, right, so we will do this consistently. So this is going to be C because it's the furthest away from the resource. So this will become A01. Good. So is that right? We've got ABC 1. So here we have ABC but the wrong way round. Right, so this needs to be C. Don't want to delete that because it's a pain to retype. Okay, that's it. So as and when we expand out other providers, we'll fix their naming as well. Alright, so this is a mess because we need to remove this roboport. Good. Now this has its own logistics. Ooh, good grief. It has 4,000 of them. And this has 2,000. Right, this is going to go hideously wrong. We need to fix this, probably in a mechanical manner. Right, so. Okay. The issue is that we need... maybe we can't actually do this. That would work. Okay. Good. So we have an inserter here which is inserting... when there are sufficient logistics bots. These are never all going to be able to roost, are they? Alright. And then we really need something to evict them because... yeah, it's going to get very annoying, isn't it? I think I'll have to travel over there. I've ballsed this up sufficiently that I think it needs some hands-on love to fix. Okay, so let's head up there. And I think what we're going to do is set up an inserter to empty drones out. I may go around and personally kick out a few. So this is our rail park. In between episodes, this deadlocked. And it deadlocked because the signaling was not set up correctly at each of these corners. That's probably a thing which is true of many of these junctions. But only bit me on that one because it had such high traffic. So I had a plan for this episode, which was to get purple science done. But there's a bunch of jobs that need doing. So we need to think seriously about our manufacturing site for, you know, all the staples. So as we get more and more specialist building sites set up, we should consider if we should be bringing in a lot of raw materials to a building site rather than fabricating them in there. For example, red circuits. We shouldn't really be in a position where we're building red circuits in our main factory. They should just be being made at the main place where red circuits are made, down here. Right, so let's have a look at one of these. So I think what we can do is get a stack inserter. Right, this one's already wired for logistics. And we can connect this arm to there. Okay, so available logistics bots is X. So we're going to enable this whenever X is greater than 500. Okay, I don't think we need more than 500 idle logistics bots. We're going to put those into an active provider. Good. And let's have a look in here. That's empty now. Right. I don't think we need all these construction drones. This is the problem with this kind of base. There's a tendency to... Right, how are we doing for... Not too bad. How many construction drones are there? 300 and something. That's still far too many. Okay, so let's dump all of those in there. We'll start at the back, because I think that's the place where they're... Yeah. Okay, so how are we doing now for construction? 66. 0. Alright, so I'm going to put a single stack of construction drones in here. Hopefully this mess will sort itself out. Alright, so I can finish that. These are all full. These are ready to bring in trains, so I'm ready to heal the track and allow trains in. Brilliant. So hopefully this mess will sort itself out. I'll go down and check it by hand later. Okay, let's have a look at our map. So what I should be doing is fixing this to be using supply trains. And then some circuit conditions for how much stock is in this area. What I am going to do is a purple science build. And we are going to build it here. Manual. Okay, let's go backwards and try not to bump into anything. Good. I am looking at the mini-map. So at the moment, this is a dead end. Now, it will be a space which we expand in future, but right now it's definitely a dead end. Let's have a quick look at power. We're in the night time, and our power is pretty high. Okay, I don't think this is the end of the world yet. So I'm going to remove these and we will stamp down some replacements. Good. All of this can go. And then if I pick up the solar there, let's put down some here. We'll do one there and one there, and then this one for completeness sake. I think that's enough for now. Good. All right, so let's remind ourselves. I want to do a purple science build. That is rail, furnaces, and prod mods. Rail, because of the amount of steel it chews through, and just basically how much material is produced and consumed, I think we may need to do that. Well, let's work it out. Right, so if this was making rail, we could get away with one rail machine Try again. Right. One of these requires 64 rail, so 2 is 128. So, yeah. One of these produces 180. So one rail machine is more than enough for 2 of these. All right. The next thing is electric furnace. There we go. And this is sufficient for 2 of them. And then the third thing is prod mods. And, as if by magic, this is sufficient for 2 of them. So it really comes down to a question of complexity of build, which is what we're going to figure out now. So if this is rail, okay, so to make rail work, we need bars. There we go. then this will need to have steel and stone inserted. The bars are going to need iron plate. Now the bar machine only needs to run at half speed, which is worth bearing in mind. All right. Okay, so we're using half of the bar machine. We are 15. So yeah, we're about we're more than producing half the plate it needs. That's the right way around to say it. So this combination works, but we have to feed this with two materials, and they're both. Yeah, all these things have to be fed in quite rapidly because it's a rapid craft. So, however, in terms of trains in, trains out, because it produces 2 rails, they stack to 100. It would be quite a busy train leaving with the rail. I don't really want to have an iron stick making site. One way to do it would be to have the steel and I'm just wondering, if we brought the steel and stone in the middle and the iron behind, then feed across the rail to the purple. The thing is, the purple needs an output, and I don't really want to have a single line which is purple going out and steel and stone coming in. That seems like 3 trains on one track. Bit overkill. All right, let's have a look at these. So this requires bricks, circuits, and steel, all of which we have in the network. So that can be direct fed. This requires green circuits and red circuits. Reds are in the network. Okay. So we would need to supply this with green circuits. Okay, so that's more than sufficient, which means we can get away with a really minimum couple of smelters, and that would do it, wherever they've disappeared. Okay, so the corresponding smelters here, that would be enough to keep this going. But we're back to a similar problem. This is now a massive build, and there's no possible way this is going to even fit between 2 rubber ports. Right. So we could minimize this build down if we had a green circuit build off-site. Is that something I want? I'm umming and ahhing. So we'd have to have a rail here. In fact, let's actually line it up here. So we'd have to have a rail here. Then we'd have. Now, obviously, this could be squashed, but there's only so far we can squash any of this stuff. All right. So then we'd have our 2 smelters. We'd have our coil and green circuit. Should really leave a space because we're feeding materials down. Then we'd have this and this. So this actually needs the green circuits that are being built. All right, this doesn't. This needs to be fed all its materials from a train. So we would be feeding from a train that doesn't want to be here. Let's do it like that for now. So we would be feeding in red circuits, steel, and brick from this train. Okay, then we would have purple. Then we would in practice need another rail track here. Then, yeah, we're out, aren't we? All right, so this just isn't an option as a single big build. All right, so if we brought in these, then, sorry, if we brought in everything needed to make the furnaces, so that's steel, circuits, and brick. Then we bring in iron, that's a fourth item. We need steel for this and sticks and stone, 7 items. Then we'd have one going out here, that's 8. It's just too many trains, isn't it? So I think we're back to needing separate builds for the separate components. Just because of the complexity and number of ingredients. Also, all 3 of the things that feed into this are useful for other stuff. Which... Okay, I've talked myself around to it then. So... let's do separate builds now. Then the question becomes where to do things. And which one to start with. So let's start with rail, because I think we have everything needed for rail. And I think I noticed an issue actually. So this is... so this should be called... I can never remember what they're called. Let's go. Where's it gone? Here. Right. Okay. Let's try again. So all right. Good, better name. This is backed up. It's calling in a train and nothing is happening. Okay, this station is called Bricks 1. So, requester stations. Ah, we've got some not defined. Okay, that's a problem. All right, so Bricks 1 wants to bring in a brick train from the manufacturing. Good. That one's done. This wants to bring in a piercing rounds magazine manufacturing. Okay, this wants to bring in stone mining. This wants to bring in stone mining. What does this want? I'm going to have to sort this out manually. Because one of them needs to bring in engines and one needs to bring in sulfur. Okay, I can fix these. Got a duplicate name here. That's suspicious. Okay, I'm going to go fix some of these manually because I'm a bit worried that bad things are happening. So let's ping that on the map. Okay. So I want to bring that in. Am I even in it? No, that would have been. All right, so let's drive over there, jump into manual, go figure out what's going on. I think it's to do with this schedule pasting not working. On we go. All right, so I put my train on manual. So let's head up here. This is engines. This should be engines. So this should be engines. This should be sulfur. That's engines. That's sulfur. Okay, and is this all wired correctly? So this is U1. If sulfur is below 400, call in sulfur. If engines is below 400, call in engines. Engine sulfur. Yeah. All right. And then this is not set. So this is calling in red circuits. A carriage of them. Okay, that came fast enough, didn't it? And that is set. Okay, so let's go back to the train supply manager and look for other unset schedules. Okay, so we've got two here on... Ah, this priority scheme is not set. Okay, so this should be potions manufacturing. Yeah, so that's now set. Okay, so the only thing not defined now is one mining outpost. And is that it? Yeah, it is. Good. Alright, so that should be fixed. Let's go back to what we were doing before, because that's why we're here, isn't it? Alright, so we were going to build rails. That's it. We were going to build rails, and we're going to build them with a deadlock. Do I fix it? I want to build something, so we're going to build something, and I'm going to fix the deadlock later. Let's head back up there. So we get deadlocks because just sheer pressure. So many trains, and so many of them parked in the same places. So the fix would be to move some of our full empty trains to different points in the map. The thing is, we haven't really uncovered enough map to give us enough loops to work with. So it's a bit of a catch-22, really. Right, so I would like to make a rail build here. Alright. Did I not just... There we go. Alright. Bye-bye, train. And you won't get very far because it'll get stuck. Okay, so we would like... We're going to bring in iron here to be smelted. Okay, so iron into a chest. We've done this sort of thing before. Then we'll go out to 2 furnaces because we worked out that 2 was enough. Is that right? Yep, it is. Good. We can put down a power pole there and a light. Awesome. So these are going to feed into this that makes poles. This will make iron sticks. I really like these diagonal ones. They're very cute. Right. Then that is going to feed across into rail. So that's the iron sticks for rail. Right. Then we need our second line. All right. So, grab this. Ah, we're actually out of arms because we need to bring in 2 materials here, stone and steel. And we don't have anywhere to output the rail. Okay, I wonder if we could do something a bit crazy. What's the furthest up I can... No, it's only up there. Right, I could steal a tile there. Okay, that could put in a box. Can that go any further? No. Oh, it could actually. Okay, so if that picked from there and put there... Other way around. So... Yep, that would... That is really weird. That is properly weird. Okay, let's add some lights. In fact, let's add lights last, because I've got a feeling we still have some weirdness. Okay, so I need to... Okay, so this is going to pick from this box, put in this assembler. Try again. Pick from the box, put in the assembler. Okay, this is going to pick from the box and put in the assembler. So that does work. Okay, these are all set up. I need one of these to be stone. Okay, let's wire them all like that. So enable when stone is greater than 1. Greater than 0, sorry. Good. Then this one is going to be steel. All right, and then this wires into that train supply manager counter thing. So we can take this and stamp down 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I need this one arm down so that I can link there. Then I can blueprint down the missing wire. Great. So then I need to wire together this also, so that we are either pulling in ore or we are emptying rail, but not both. There we are. Then the logistics for this are the same sort of thing as we've done several times now. Maybe we'll get it right this time. Running in low on these. Never mind. Did that go to the box? Not always clear where things are connecting. No, feels like it's gone That's better. I think that's all wired up. So then we can start setting, let's put some power poles in to start it blinking. Okay. Okay, so output T1 when stone is less than, and what does stone stack in? 100, isn't it? So we've got 8 slots, that's 800. Strictly it's less than or equal to. This will be steel less than or equal to 16 because it stacks to 200. Stone doesn't stack to 100, stone stacks to 50. Right. Yeah, it does stack to 50. Alright, so this is set to 400. This will be T. Sorry. T equals 1 for iron ore less than or equal to 400. Output a single T. Let's just double check I've done this. Output 1 U. Output 1 T. Okay, this is going to output 1 U when the number of rail is greater or equal to, and rail stacks in 100s, so, and we will have 1,000 to a row, 4 rows, so that's 4,000. Okay, so I think this is all wired. Then this needs to be enabled when T is greater than incoming trains. And this needs to be enabled when U is greater than incoming trains. Good. And we can copy this bit. Good, and that is set. Then we can set up the schedules. So this is going to request in stone and this is going to request in steel. All right, this is going to request in iron ore. And this is going to request in rail manufacturing, so an empty wagon. All right, so why are none of these lit up? This wants a train, it wants a stone train. Okay, so this is not going to be a big enough build. However, I haven't set up signals. Let's grab that. We'll lose the roboports and the big poles. Everything else can stay. Good. So we could squeeze one in there. No, we couldn't. Okay. One of those there. Let's finish this off with some signals. The signals are quite important. Good. Then we're going to just double check we've got chain signals where we need them. So that needs to be a chain. That needs to go. Okay, and then this is a chain already, so that's fine. So I think this is all done. So we have enough of these now for 20 purple science machines. I think that will do us for now. We can always put down more. 30 is certainly overkill. Okay. Let's have a walk down. Because I think I have a train jam. I'm pretty certain that I have a train jam. The complete lack of trains running me over is a sign. All right. Obviously, I've never cleared the wildlife away from here. May as well now. Give the bot something to do while I'm walking. And that's a lot of... That's fine for the moment. We will need to escalate our ability to fight back soon. Alright, so we definitely have a train jam. Yeah, it's not looking pretty, is it? So there's two issues. The first is that our particular design of rail, with the rails running around the outside and crossing over, causes a lot of crossing. Every time trains are able to cross, that's an opportunity for deadlock. The other problem is we have this very, very busy roundabout, and there's situations where it can just decide to get itself snarled up because there's too many trains. And I think the fix for that is to make sure that trains only ever enter the roundabout if they can path off the roundabout. So that means every single chain signal coming in and going, well, certainly every chain signal coming in, every signal coming in needs to be a chain signal. That's chain. Those are chains. Okay, so this is leaving, that's fine. Right, and then I think I'm going to replace all the signals on the roundabout with chain signals. Now, I would not normally, because I would want trains to make progress moving into the junction. However, by replacing all of these with chain signals, what it will do is mean that a train will not enter the junction until it can path out of the junction. Right, let's find out what the snarl is. So that wants to go into park. This wants to go down. This wants to go around and up. And this wants to go around and up. Okay. So I think if I put this into manual mode and move it across the junction, I think that leaves us with a spare space in the roundabout. So now that can park. We're playing train Tetris, aren't we? And off that goes to park. Oh, to supply, apparently. Good. So I've kept biters on in this playthrough, not because I want the challenge of killing them, but because they act as a... They prevent me from just building as big as I want to build, basically. So there's a time and an effort to killing the biters to expand out. And that time and effort means that I have to decide whether to use my time building factory or expanding. If I didn't have the biters, then I would have a tendency to just expand without any regard for anything. And the factory would get massive, and I wouldn't use the space. So that's why I've done it. If they start becoming a problem, then I'll kill them with console commands or creative mode or something, because that's not the point of this. But I'm just explaining why I have kept them up until now. Okay, so this seems to be all clearing now, and you can see no train is entering the roundabout until it connects it. Because of the corners, they're able to make a bit of progress. So if you've got trains where they're both going in paths across the roundabout where they don't need to cross, they can do that. And also by making that little bit of progress onto corners, it keeps things making some forward movement. Good. So how are we doing? That's my train. Bye-bye. I just want to see this all clearing out. And in practice, I may have been able to have real signals on 3 of the 4 sides without it deadlocking. That's a possibility. The only time I've seen it deadlock is when there are trains on all 4 sides. I just don't... There's probably a preferred side where a train parking is the least suboptimal. But I'm going to leave it like this for now. This does appear to be working. Although there's a poor coal train which has been sat for a while just off the edge of the screen. Okay. So this is shocking for throughput, but doesn't deadlock anymore. So we're going to take that for now. It does the job. We will do it better later. So I'm going to call my train back in. To the busy place. Good. And then we're going to go back to the next bit of the build. So after we've done rail, we should do production modules, I think. Seriously, come on. I just want my train. Is it too much to ask? And let's have a think about where we're going to build prod mods. So they use red circuits. We're doing rail over here. We haven't named the stops properly. I'll do that between. So maybe here. I think that might be right. Everything's very busy. And are we deadlocked? No, things are still moving. It is just busy. Oh lordy, it's busy. So I'm using the train painter mod, and it's doing a really beautiful job of colouring in trains by what they're carrying. I'm very impressed by the colours it's choosing. I love the bronzy colour of the copper. Okay, so what's going on here? No, they are moving. It's just a backlog. Good. I don't think this rail network's going to scale up to a gigabase. I've got that feeling that it's going to be a bit of a bottleneck issue before then. Okay, so round and up. Can we get going, please? Thank you. Great. And into manual mode. So I want to have all this cleared up. Where's the widget for that? Good. We will back up my train, put it around there, and throw down a signal behind us so we don't block the main track. And I think we already designed it, didn't we? How to do the prop mods. So I think we'll go for a simple build when the bots come in. In the meantime, let's have a look. So we set up some mining and had a bit of a boo-boo with logistics bots. Okay. So there are 3,000 logistics bots in this network. They are slowly draining out. That's pretty horrific, isn't it? Alright, so this whole arrangement here I'm going to duplicate here and here. That should help. Are we within construction range of anything? I'm not sure. Yes, we are. So that will get built by central building. And so that should empty out of these three. And the beauty of emptying out these three is that they are the ones which are most used for loading trains. So that's going to tend to build bots out from the back as they empty from the front. Good. Okay. So this is starting to clear. We will put our first build hard up against this. There we are. Then we need a green circuit build. This might be quite rapid to get down. All right, so this is going to be a copper and iron station. And we have some of those already on the map. Let's have a look. Yeah, so this arrangement here. Take that out, we don't need that. Trying to find one that's a bit less hampered. They're all a bit hampered. Alright. So, copper and iron into smelters, into green circuits. Yep, that's what we want. Okay, and then this needs a different name. So this will be... This will be a name that we edit carefully. Productivity module, copper iron. 1. Good. Then this is going to feed down to a machine making prop mods. Right, we don't need the wire going across. Right, and we don't need this arm, I don't think, but we're going to have to do some counting to check. Okay. So, 0.83 of the green circuit machine. So we've got quite a bit in hand. 0.66. So I think this may be perfectly ratioed. The reason being, this arrangement, I think, runs the green circuit machine at 1/3 speed. But if we feed 2 prop mods with this, we have 2/3 of it left. So I think that's exactly on ratio. Okay, so that is 8 prop mods. And I have a feeling I normally build 10. So 2 of these builds is overkill, but then we can use the prop mods for other things, so we may do that. Alright. Whoops, far too far. Alright, so take this out. This needs to become a chain signal. We are going to need arms and things here. Okay. Into a box. Drop down. Drop up. Right, load. So this arrangement is straightforward. Is it the arrangement we want? Because I also want to load green... I want to load red circuits. Because we need those. Okay. So if this... Whoops. That's correct. All right. So then we'd have that to there. We need to make sure these are wired, because we're going to have to control them on trains. So then we have 2 out, 2. Yeah. So this can be the unload. This is going to put there, I think. Okay, And this is going to put 2 up. This. Okay, this is going to pick from 2 down. And this is going to pick from 3 up. Have I done this the wrong way around? Let's try again. Okay, so this is the prod mod box. Try again. So this will need to be that. Okay. Then this needs reversing. Can't believe I just did it entirely backwards. Okay. So that is dropping off. This one needs reversing. Good. So I think that's all correct. Definitely a case of don't operate while drunk. Then we'll need the extra wire linking. Good. Let's copy that across. I just want to double check we haven't got another deadlock. So no, we haven't. This is all flowing. And there's no big backup of trains. That's all right. Okay, and then we need wires the other side as well. This is all correctly wired. It should all be wired in. In fact, the only thing is the priority schemes, which are easy. We'll set those up in a moment. And we don't need these modules in. Because fingers crossed, this is all ratioed out correctly. All right, so then we need one of those. Good, let's wire all the cabling. And I'm only ever wiring to the front boxes. The reason for that is that these builds should be going carriage to carriage. There shouldn't be any crossover between them. So if you know the state of the front carriage, you know the state of all the carriages. All right, just setting those for TU will change what they actually are. So the lower one I want to be red circuits. And they stack to 200, I believe. We've got 8 stacks, so that's 1,600. All right. Then this will be the prod mods themselves. Okay, and these stacked 50. So a full train is 4 rows of 10, so 40, lots of 50, 405, 2,000. I think this is all done. Let's get power poles. And lights. Good. Now I've gone and done the other side. I want them to line up. Right. Don't think this arrangement's correct. Let's go back down here. So, across, there. There we are. And obviously speed modules, it'll be the same build, near enough. Let's just drive it manually into one of those builds. And I am looking at the minimap. Good. We'll set up the signaling. I'll pull this up manually, and then I think I can copy this, get rid of power poles, and drop it down there. I can. I'm very pleased with that. That's brilliant. So I can then set up stop names and schedules. So this is that. Let's go there. Check this looks correct on the map. Yep, that does. Then the schedule here is red circuits, train carriage, enabled when. Good. And this is enabled when which way around do I like this? I think I prefer train counter less than rather than item greater than. Right, and the priority scheme on this is prob mod manufacturing. Yep. This one's all set up. Priority schema is iron. Oh, sorry. This one is the iron. Yep. Is there a train on the way? Yes, there is. It's a copper train. Alright, so I think I'm in the way. Let's move to there and then go back to the manual. Okay, so on the map, these don't have the right names. Copy all of that, paste it down. Now, I don't know if any of that worked. Yep, it all did. Pretty pleased with that. So that's our production modules. The only other thing left to make is the furnaces. And where could we do that? Well, I would like to double check some things are working. Right, so these are still running. They're up to 1.8k. Are there any things that we don't have? So we don't have any full ammo. Do we have any empty ammo trains? Right, so that's an empty ammo train. And our ammo build wants an ammo train. Alright, so this is the kind of thing I'd like to debug for a couple of minutes. And we can probably do that from home. Alright. So, ammo. Do we have any schedule set up for ammo? We don't, that's what it is. So, ammo manufacturing trains. Are called from empty ammo. Ammo cargo are called from full ammo. Good. Right, what else do we not have? So, empty engines, I don't think we've made any engines. Empty red circuits, again, I think the red circuit builds are just buffering up. Yeah, 2.2k. So they are running, they're just taking a very long time to buffer up. Alright, steel. Again, these are just buffering. Do I have a steel train, though? No, I don't have a steel priority set up. So, steel smelting. Empty steel. A wagon full of steel. Full steel. All right. So then what else? We've just added in some more items. So let's make sure there are trains for everything. We've got... we need trains for... So empty... empty rail. Then we're going to need a full rail. So where are the corresponding empty and fulls for these? Yeah, UFO cat becomes full rail. Good. And then this one will become... full promod. And we'll need an empty promod as well. Awesome. So this train... Right, let's set up these priorities before I forget. So we need a priority schedule for just really double check. So we've got to... Yeah. So I want to schedule for... rail manufacturing. And rail supply. And then modules. Okay, and then I've got a feeling I've set some of these up incorrectly. So that's set to full, full, full. I'm just checking that the manufacturing sites are configured to full rather than empty. Full. See, that's why. Okay, so that's all set up. Let's have a look to see if any of that's working. So we have this all ready to go, except it's waiting on red circuits. Yeah, so it's just waiting on the red circuits. And do we have a train which will be very busy soon to go get red circuits? This, let's take one of these and blueprint it down. This train here is going to good. So that's all ready to go. We'll need this to fuel up, but I can at least set the schedule. Good. That's all ready to go. What do we have? We've got some full coal. No empty stones. They must all be off doing something. Okay, so this is stone. So it's going off to mine stone, hopefully. And anything else we should do while we're here? So I'm a bit worried about whether we have trains dedicated everywhere. Okay, so there's a train dedicated to this. One to this, obviously one there. Okay, so I am just checking because, you know, these things are worth checking, aren't they? And we've actually used up all our parking. So what's the solution to that? More parking. And where do we put more parking? Because we've pretty much used everything up. I think possibly here and here would be the next places. Maybe that's a question for next time. Okay, so the builds we need to make next time is electric furnaces and purple science. The decision then becomes where to put 2 more station parks for all the additional things we're going to need, and I'm in 2 minds about whether to put it here and here or here and here. I think there are no good places, so I should probably stop fretting about the places I'm picking being bad. Just put them down here, I think. I'm just going to put them in here. I'm going to put them either side of this T, just to really screw with the traffic. No, it'll have to be over here, won't it? I'll blueprint that down now, so that I don't back out of it. So that can go... I need to take a blueprint of that. The bit I need is... Yeah, the bit I need is power pole to... Power pole... Okay. So we're going to put one of these down here. One of these down here. And I can't take it back now. Hope I didn't copy train station names. But those will be our parks now for the next round of materials. And there I'm going to leave it. Thanks very much for watching. We clearly have issues with the neighbours in a number of places. So at some point we'll need to go out and liberate some more of the world. This is nearly mined out, so I'm nearly ready to put down our science in this area, and I think it's going to be a big bot-fed lab build setup. So until then, thanks very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. It's an absolute blast for me, although it's really slow-paced. Yeah, and I will see you again soon. Please stay home and stay safe. Keep you and yours safe if you can. And I will return soon with more exciting, slow-paced, glacial-paced Factorio. Bye-bye.